Hey yo, Tommy, this beat sucks.
Tell me that you love me, 'cause I've been feeling lonely.
Tell me she know me.
Alright, hold up.
You
Hold on, let me take a sip
bitch.
real quick. Cheers to y'all,
Shit.
boys. Yes, hit
I
it.
got the juice though. What? You hear me?
Ah, damn it. It says the thing on the
Healthy.
top.
You hear me?
She gotta pay like she weigh. If she know
God
me, she
damn it,
owe
Justin.
me. All
2
facts,
times.
no caps, on wax.
I'ma just have to go through his audio and just fucking take out all the parts where it's popping because it looks like it's not gonna stop.
How about just completely unplug this? You think it's still
It has
popping?
nothing to do with the headphones.
Oh, that's the heavens. Oh, alright, for sure.
Okay, so we all just took a sip. And, oh God, did I spill? No, we're good. I thought I spilled on my pants.
You hear that?
Rookie move, son.
Yeah.
Fucking crack addict.
Finger licking.
It was finger licking good. All right, well, so we're recording definitely. All right, hey, welcome to the Blueprint
Oh,
Podcast.
John, back that head up.
Put the cup down,
Too
bro.
loud on the mic. There you go.
All right, well, y'all, welcome to the Blueprint Podcast. This is your 3 favorite gentlemen, huh? We got Stewie Ooey, we got Jimbo, and we got John. This is your Sultan of Snaps over here. That's what we do.
Yep.
Yeah. You gonna say it?
Yeah, I am gonna say it. I'm
Why
just
you
trying to see if
acting
I
like we
can
don't have
remember.
a special
forgetting.
guest here?
I am a little forget. It's
She
shit.
pay like she weigh.
I'm not gonna say she pay like
If
she
she
weigh.
know
She
me,
know
she
me, she
owe
owe
me.
me. There, I said it.
All facts, no cap, on wax.
There we go. Stu said it for me. I just can't say it
And
because it
today,
doesn't roll off
our
the tongue.
special guest is none other than the Weather Watcher.
Hey, what's good, everybody?
How
you
you
for having
been,
me, bro.
boy? How you been?
Shit, I've been pretty good.
So what's
Been
your real
pretty
name?
decent, bro.
Stop. We're not getting there yet.
Shut your ass.
What's your government name?
What's
Jesus.
I can't do that. I'll tell everybody where you work.
What's your social security?
What's your government name?
What's your mother's maiden name?
What's
Real
your IP
fast.
address?
Hell no, bro. You're tripping. But y'all tweaking already.
You want to tell the people about how you stalked me?
Oh yeah, definitely. I saw your busted ass walking everywhere, and it wasn't hard to find you.
He was always texting me. He's like, "Damn, what you doing at Target? Some shit."
Well,
I'm
what
just
you
looking
doing
around,
here, bro?
paranoid.
Seeing your little apartments and shit. I'm like, oh, that's where you stay at. His head is definitely not
I'm
on a
watching.
swivel. No swivel in sight.
No, I guess not. Dude,
I had to
was,
drop on you, bro.
I was hunting you. I was like, "Who's the weather watcher?"
I know JT was like, he's all, Jimmy pulled up. He's like asking me, do you know who the weather watcher is? He's like, nah, I don't. And I was like, good looks.
Oh, JT
Motherfucker.
asked. You asked JT that or what?
Yeah.
I guess he pulled up to his studio.
Yeah, one
Back
of the
when.
last times I went to record with him, because
Mhm.
I was interrogating everybody. I was like, "Who's this man who knows where I live and where I work, and what I do on a day-to-day basis?" So I don't like this.
So
Okay, yeah. Before we get on.
Yeah, I was
that,
gonna say before we get
it's
into
like-
that.
Okay, Weather Watcher. What are you? What do you do? Before we get to the whole mystery part.
Yeah, I was about to get to
that's
that. I
almost
was like, we
huge
should
part of your
just-
brand at this point. It's like the mystery behind who you are, because it almost seemed like you came out of nowhere, which
You did.
luckily for me, it was like I was like the first blog that you made of.
Yep, definitely.
So yeah, and also because you're so big on bringing back rap blogs.
Yeah,
So-
dude. I used to have a good time reading those growing up, like all through high school, and that's how I always stayed up on the music. And everyone knew me as like, oh, take my iPod, bro, and fill it up because I know you know all the fresh shit. And so like, that's not really much of a thing now with the fucking streaming and all that. But
Oh yeah.
I wanted to just like bring it back, just like nostalgia type shit.
So you've been doing it for like a year now, right? A little over a year. It's been.
Yeah.
We just got past the
November
anniversary.
29th, I believe.
Yep, we just got past the anniversary, so it was like, how did you fall into it? Like, yeah, you did the rap blogs, or you liked rap blogs, but like, how did you know where to go with it? Or like, you were like, one day you were just like, hey, I'm just gonna do it. Maybe you were planning it for a while. Like, how did you get into it?
Well, I would say like kind of just like walk us through like how this all came to be. I guess like through your perspective,
Yeah.
how this happened.
Definitely. So there is a name behind, or a reason behind the name. It's inspired by my good friend Case, and he was someone I really admired ever since like high school days, right?
Mm.
And like my junior year, senior year, like me and the homies started messing around with music, and he was one of the homies we would do music with. So we
Okay.
got like really close, like all of us. And then he had this song called WW, like in 2012, 2013 type shit.
Okay, so
And
a while back.
a while back. And so I love this song. He had the craziest bars. It was like one of my favorite verses. And then eventually he deleted it. And so years passed, whatever, we kind of slowed down on the music. And then I link up with him, and he's trying to like re-record a project that he was working on. And so I started linking up with him again in like 2016. And I asked him about that song. I was like, bro, what's up with the Weather Watcher song? Like, what's good? And he's looked at me. He's like bugged out. He's like, I ain't never told no one what that song meant, bro. He's like, I just looked at the WW. He's like, how'd you know that? And I was like, bro, listen to that shit. I was tuned in. And he's like, man, yeah, you cracked the code. And so
Wait, how do you
that's
know
where
what
the
the
name
code
came
was?
from. And so,
How do you know what the code was?
there was this line, and he was like, I was always taught to weather whatever the weather would bring, and like WW, and like I think he referenced something about like weather watch like one time like somewhere in passing, and like kind of just like clicked for me.
Okay.
So it never really said weather watcher, but it kind
Never.
of he kind of just took it from just listening to the song.
Yeah, and that's what WW was. He said I'm the weather. Like, he was weather watcher, like taking a sit back perspective on life, and like the way he was kicking his shit, like kicking knowledge and perspective. And so like as someone being observant, just observing it all, watching type
Yeah.
shit. And so like I always like fuck with that shit. And, like,
Breaking the codes and the mystery. So
mhm.
that's how you got the name. So you got the name.
So based on that, continuing like just knowing people, networking back then, keeping up with everyone's like progress low key, just everyone's social media posting what they do. I was always a fan of like everyone that like was dope around the time, and you start meeting more people, everyone knows this, that, and like I'm like, man, there's just a big like little culture developing here, and like there's like not a big platform for it, but there's like no Thizzler out here, there's no whatever else that's I guess
Oh,
kind of
wow.
relevant out here. And I wasn't trying to do it for no shit like that. So I don't know, one day I was talking to David James, because he's a friend of mine, and we was just chopping it up, and I was like, low key, remember blogs, bro? I was like, I want to do something like that. And he's like, man, you're perfect for that, because you just know about like every artist. He's like, you should do that. And I'm like, all right. So weeks go by, I'm just thinking, I'm toying with that idea, right? I'm thinking of names, writing stupid shit down. And then closer to the next time I had talked to him, I wrote down Weather Watcher amongst other names. And I remember he was like, I was thinking like of some name ideas, and he was like, I said a couple of the other ones that weren't Weather Watcher, and he's like, you should do something like where it's two of the same letters, like alliteration. And I'm like, that's crazy. I have something like that written down. And I told him the Weather Watcher, and he's like, bro, that's a dope ass name. And then so I started kind of just developing like that theme, that weather watching theme, that forecast predicting on like what's coming up next and shit like that, the next wave type shit. And so once I really got like that set idea, that's when I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make a little page. And then I was thinking website down the line, and like making a real platform of it. So I just started getting a little traction doing the Instagram blogs, and like you had put out a project that completely blew my mind. I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, yo, someone
bad
out
nostalgia.
here. Yeah, bad nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I was just like so inspired, and like that shit like really like meant something to me in my life. And so I was like, I'm gonna write about this. It's easy. And I went ahead and did it, and that was the first one, and that's when
I
people
know.
started
And
noticing.
then like you made the post, you tagged me in it, and I was like, what the hell? This is a blog, and I was reading it. I was like, this is tight as hell. I felt so cool that I had a blog written about me, so I was like, oh man, this is dope as hell. And that was another cool thing about you, is that especially now in a day of social media, like where everybody knows everything, like you kept low key for pretty much, I mean, still low key for a while. Nobody really knows who you are, and everybody's like, who's the Weather Watcher? Who's the Weather Watcher?
Yeah, there's still some people that don't know like who you are.
There's
you know
people
what I'm
I've introduced myself as Weather Watcher in like creative like events, and like goes over their head, and they still don't think it's me. It's funny.
Yeah. So wait, what happened like after the first couple blog posts that you made? Because
Uh,
your growth is pretty fast.
Yeah, so because I
feel
was
like-
always obsessing like on my free time when I was like just up late, just thinking of new ideas, and so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start acting on this shit because like I don't want someone to beat me to it. So I started looking up domain names and shit like that. So I was like, Weather Watcher. Weather Watcher was taken, so I was like, fuck, the Weather Watcher. And then I had another backup that I used for like the Twitter handle, WW Music Forecast. So when I found the Weather Watcher, it was available, and it was something I could afford, and so I immediately hopped on it, bought that, and then I sat for like a month, and then I bought a Squarespace subscription to really manipulate and build the website. And then in between that phase, I had reached out to Abasto Co. about like doing some logo work for me, and we just chopped it up, came to some agreements after a couple of drafts, and then I had the logo. And so I had the logo sitting with me when I finally had started piecing the website together, started planning logos and just kind of building it. And then like another month passed, and before I like, really made it live, no, like 2 months passed, made it. 2 months had passed before I made it live, and I just really started just winging it from there. Honestly, I really wasn't like, at that point it was just like day to day, post to post, like this is a good idea, just do it, and then seeing what stuck, what people gravitated towards. They used to be really short blogs for like 2 weeks. They used to be like 2-3 paragraphs type of thing. When I made it go like the website go live, the Weather Watcher, in like April. I remember the first post I made was Zelda Diamonds, like Dark Tone Hood Hop. And so once I started doing that and people started kind of like following, I just kept keeping it low key and just kind of like seeing where people would want it. I kept getting requests for podcast. That was like the number one thing. They're like, turn it to a podcast, bro, turn it to a podcast. But like that was never my intention. And so I was like, well, I really like writing. So I just kept focusing on that. But at the same time, I was like, all right, there's a demand and it needs to grow quickly in this day and age because, everyone's got the content, the TikToks, the whatever, all the video content, visuals. And so I was like, all right, I got to get with it because I don't want people to get tired of just solely reading. And so simultaneously, I was doing that and just kind of like slowly like
I mean, you
working
really,
ahead while
you
just
really
winging
stroke the ego really well for artists, though. No lie, you
Oh, yeah.
articulate hella hard, and I'm just like, when I was reading like every blog post you done about me, I'm just like, this shit is tight as hell. I feel like a goddamn god over here.
Yeah, you're very like articulate when you go into
Oh, yeah.
like a lot of the
Very
music stuff. I
detailed.
mean, like some of the blogs that I've read that you've written about people, especially like Stu 2 and Jimmy. I was like, yo, man, like you got a talent for this, like really. And I was about to ask you, like speaking of the writing stuff, like I mean, have you had any writing experience? You say you love writing, but like you kind of just know how to write, man.
Yeah, really well.
Yeah, so like I guess like growing up I was just like school came easy to me, so I was always just on top of it just naturally because I wanted to just go outside and smoke weed and skate, and so I was like, if I do good grades they ain't gonna question me. And
Nice.
so, but at some point like
Usually
in some
people
of
go
those,
reverse.
yeah
Yeah.
I know.
So yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, yo, I was motivated to go do that, but at the same time I kind of like started appreciating writing. Like there were certain teachers that'd be like, hey man, you really know how to use words in the proper context, and you have strengths, and they would sit with me and work with me. And so like slowly I was like, oh okay, I think I could write whatever. I used to not enjoy it. It used to like really aggravate me, try to sit down and write. And then like I got into college and a couple more classes, like I started doing really dope, and I started getting like 10-page papers, getting like A's on them. Like what the fuck, bro? I was like, I never really thought I could put word, or like I don't know, I didn't think like the way I put words together really meant anything to people. I just always thought like that shit went over their heads. And so I just like, yeah, in school I was always kind of like, I know I'm good at it and I just want to keep working on it. And then when I stopped doing school, I was like, damn, I'm missing that itch to like write. And like I was always like just trying to like write any way I can, like just do whatever.
So just in general after college and everything, you just
Yeah.
started writing like whatever. Like what
Yeah.
did you write?
Like shit, like I would do lyrics. I would like I don't know, like I would write like philosophies or the way I would think or ideas or just expressing like just in my notes type shit. I don't know, like just like
I mean, I
had a lot of perspective on things as like I was experiencing like in my personal life, and like I was always drawing parallels from music naturally ever since like I was really young, like 5-6 years old. Like I used to say like the Walkman and then the iPod were like my best friends growing up. So like I've always just like that's always been a comfort space for me. So like I always was just thinking about it, trying to write about it, trying to like just anything involved. I used to like really like just like do my own reviews of like albums I liked, just like low key in my notes or something like that. Just I don't know. It's just something like I subconsciously always liked, and then when I got to the point of like trying to do this blog, I was like, man, I really do enjoy about writing music, and like specifically about music, because that was the easiest to write about out of all the things I used to write about.
Before we continue, I see you struggling. Let me give you the longer string.
Oh yeah.
We're taking an intermission right now, so you can change aux cords for his headphone.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna yank your shit off.
I know you're trying to turn to me, and I'm like, look at me, damn it.
While we have John's popping ass mic.
Much better.
It's just clicking, clacking, clicking, clacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been your first year. How's the reception been for you? Like,
It's been actually a lot better than I expected. I didn't know what people really expected, or what I thought the reactions were gonna be.
like probably like everybody's like, I don't want to fucking read.
Exactly. I was like, well, I don't really expect it, but I'm like, then I'm not doing it for them really. I'm doing it for myself at the end of the day. So just to have like that outlet of like drawing parallels from music, but doing it in a way that matters to people I could touch, because a lot of these people that I kept in touch with were really good friends of mine, and so like I was never out of the circle as far as music wise. Like even if I wasn't like networking, I knew, because you know how it is when all creatives know about all creatives, right?
Yeah, you like, I can tell you have a true passion about being part of the scene that you really love.
Yeah, because you really you thrown yourself into the scene like pretty quickly. Like once you started these blogs, like you've met like a lot of these like artists like Stu, Jimmy. You got Bozzy, other people that you've met and just like conversated with. Like everybody like loves like hearing from you and working with you. And I think that's a credit to you to putting yourself out there like that. And I think that's pretty impressive, because like once you showed up and you hit my text line, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, this dude is coming for it. Like, no joke.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, after a couple months of writing, like, I was trying to get as many, like, people I felt deserving to, like, if an outsider looking in with a microscope just, like, stumbled on it, like, they would be the best representation of the scene, right? And so I was trying to, like, be as diversified as I can, but, like, still keeping it, like, with strong acts. And so I was like, all right, well, when I got a balance of that, I was like, I want to start doing the visual content. So I would ask like people around, like, hey, I know you might know about videos or cameras. And a lot of people were like saying something about Sony, but they just said Sony. They didn't nothing beyond that. And then someone else was like, oh, John. And I heard John a couple times. And I'm like, okay, that's JK the visual. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him if he can like recommend me something, right? Because someone was like, I think John actually does his job with the Sony or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'll ask him about it. And then that's when I reached out to you.
That's how it went, man. Again, to be honest, like I was surprised you even like had like you contacted me for that. I was like you're probably not the first person that contacted me about like camera usage, but I mean like everybody knows like I'm an open book, man. You could ask me like what camera I use or what camera like I recommend. Like I'll throw it out there. Like yeah, for like my actual job I use a Sony. My personal stuff I use a Fuji, which is what we're recording.
I've been asking him for years, and he still won't give me a straight answer.
What are you talking about?
He's just like,
you gave me the game, bro.
Well, I mean, in your case, I didn't give you a straight answer either. I just gave you options and let you make the decision. But of course, like everybody was leading you towards like a Sony, which you chose, and I think it's worked out in your favor. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'll recommend anybody a Sony too, because I like Sony too. I probably will upgrade my camera at some point to a Sony, but I mean, like it's whatever works for you, and I think you chose the right camera for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like I think you mentioned a couple models, and then specifically I think you said something a little further, and then you only said 6400, and so like I took it as like I was like, okay, that's probably going to be like the most efficient thing for what I'm trying to do.
Well, I mean, you also hit me with your budget too, and I'm like, well, homie.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, because you did mention the A7 or whatever, and I was like, yeah, and so I was like, okay, that's perfect. And when I looked it up, I was like, fuck it, and it's been really smooth ever since. It's been an easy piece of equipment, and it's pretty seamless trying to put this stuff together with it. So I appreciate you. You found something easy
for
me.
Hey man, you're welcome, dude. And you kind of notice like a lot of people you run into, a lot of them use Sonys. Like it's mostly what you're gonna see out here with people doing either music videos or any kind of content that's in the scene. Most people like using Sonys. Honestly, it's rare that I even see a person with a Canon, but when I do, I'm like, good for you, dude.
You're like family.
Yeah, it's like good for you, man. But I mean, for the most part, it's like Sony, because like it's that low light capability. You know, like you're gonna run into like a lot of like people are gonna want to do shows and shit. You're gonna be in the dark. You know, you're gonna need that low light like advancement in the scene.
I love the low light on that camera. Actually, it comes out really good. Yeah, she's
No, man, I'm happy to hear, dude.
Speaking of cameras, not only do you do blog posts, but you now do interviews.
Yes, I do.
How long have you been doing that, and how's it been? Because I think you had some gripes with some people.
It's a mess, bro. A lot of people hit me up, and it's annoying. And then like, scheduling's a nightmare because I'm like, okay, and then people sometimes just don't get back to you. They don't seem like they really want to. Is what I mean. And so I'm just trying to sort out like, okay, who's really serious? Because like.
But you want it to be like a main part of like.
Yeah, I definitely want to be a main part of the platform. I want it to be one of the.
Because I personally love the underground vibe that your interviews give off, like that old like 2009, like we're just seeing artists come up kind of thing, and I'm like, yo, this is sick, dude.
Yeah, I love it because like I like to,
especially if anything blows up in the scene around here, it's like people are gonna look back at those.
Yeah, sweet. A lot of the times, like, you say that when I search up the artist, like just to get like their song or something like that, I'll see like Weather Watcher want to be one of the top things associated with their name. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, I didn't cross my mind they would do that.
Yeah, you're part of the culture. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that there at some point, maybe like the next year or two, there's gonna be other people trying to do what you do. But you're kind of like that trailblazer to be doing stuff in the scene around here like that, because I haven't really seen anybody do what you're doing in regards to like the blog posts, like the interviews and stuff like that. Like there's people who are doing interviews here and there, but you bring like a different style, your own vibe to it. Like it doesn't seem like you're copying anybody. It's just like you're doing what you enjoy and what you love. And I think that's the best thing anybody could do, and that's why I appreciate and respect the hell out of you. Like seriously, like when I talk about you, I talk about you in the most positive manner ever. Like I'm like, dude, this is my homie. Like this guy, like if you don't know who he is, when you do meet him for the first time, it's a good dude. Does some good shit. Go check out his blog.
Yeah, definitely.
Put it in that work.
Read
you have a question, Jimmy? You were leaning over like you had a question.
Oh no.
You don't have a question.
He's tipsy.
So, okay, interviews have been kind of annoying. Where do you see yourself going this year?
Want to be more organized for sure.
Like every business.
Yeah, I want to be more organized because now it's getting disorganized, and probably gonna cut off DM communications and really enforce email communication because DM communication is trash.
It is.
I agree.
Especially because it's like there's a lot of meaningless DMs, and it gets caught up in business DMs, and you know they may forget, you forget.
Yeah, like I use my DMs on the Weather Watcher to maintain like personal relationships, like with artists and stuff like that. You know, people who've met me and like we have a rapport, and like you know some people I keep close just because like they're good people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
so,
like when you're responding to a story or something. Or something
yeah, exactly.
Like that.
Just like you know what they got going on, I'll be like, hey, yo, keep going, or I dig that, or whatever the case is.
Yeah, like the Uzi thing. I didn't get back to you.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Uzi thing. That shit was dope.
Yeah, that was it.
But yeah. So, but like yeah, for business, like I just realized like, regardless if they're serious or not, it doesn't feel appropriate.
Yeah. Now you do not have an LLC or anything as of yet.
No, not yet. I was actually recently looking into that, and I'm recently trying to look into trademark, but I don't think I'll be able to trademark the Weather Watcher.
Yeah.
I may have to shift some rebranding, but definitely keep WW and something like that if I like really get serious about that, because there is the Weather Watchers something like it's actually weather related.
You might have to go like the Abasco Co. and just the Weather Watcher Co.
I know.
Yeah, or
WW Music Forecast. I don't know.
Yeah, or what you had before. You said WW something, and I was like,
WW Music Forecast.
Yeah, that just sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah, that's the Twitter handle at WW Music Forecast.
I mean, maybe look into that because I think you could take that somewhere.
I think that I can get away with that. That's what I was actually going to try to
because then you could still like again under like put like the Weather Watcher as like your name for the brand, which is dope.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's an avenue you could take it in.
Yeah, that's what I kind of got my mind working towards. So like, just like thinking it out before I really, because I'm like really impulsive. I just like, I'll sit back and be really reserved about something and just spend time thinking about it. And then when I get that thought of like, do it, it has to be done within like, or in process within like 24 hours. Like I just gotta like get this going because like now I feel like I'm ready to type of thing.
Just start pushing.
Yeah, just like when I feel like I've retained enough information to get me going.
So is that something that like obviously like you're gonna be focusing more on like this year, like really just kind of just pushing more of that Weather Watcher brand and just like continuing the blog posts, more interviews and stuff? Are you thinking of maybe trying to add another like thing to your brand, or is this kind of it that you're thinking of?
You're just taking it step by step, huh?
Yeah.
Step by step, but I do have stuff in mind actually.
Okay.
What's it called? So I'm definitely trying to remain consistent about the writing blogs, because that's really what it is. That's really what it started for. That's kind of like the essence of it.
And I bet you're so pressured to kind of like leave that.
Yeah,
right?
it's
Am
kind
I
of
wrong
like,
about that?
Yeah, I feel like when I started doing the video, it like took a backseat. I didn't write a song review for like 2 months, because I'm just trying to get decent with the videos and find this kind of like consistent look to the content that I'm trying to put out for the interviews and stuff like that. Just trying to make something that's people recognize as the Weather Watcher.
Yeah.
And so the obviously, like, when I put time into that, the writing, I put a lot of time in the writing. I really think I'll bond with the songs. I appreciate when artists send me songs early, like it comes out this day, I'll listen to it all week, and then when the day it comes out, I'll have something to say about it, and then make it go live.
Yeah. Speaking of artists like sending you songs, like, is that something that you like would prefer them to do, like going forward, or is that something that just like you feel very honored that somebody just hits you with that?
So I do feel honored. It's like people, that's vulnerable. That's what you're working on. That's what you're going to present to the world.
And
People hold
care
that
about
close
your
to them.
opinion.
Yeah, and like I've never asked someone to be like, hey, let me hear some stuff from you to give you feedback. People are just like, hey, please can you give me an ear? I'm like, hell yeah, like I'm down. I love always. I have homies like over the years that like their unreleased mixtapes are still in my one of my iTunes libraries, and I'll go and listen to it and like stuff like that. I really enjoy like people's unheard stuff, like just in general, because it's like some of their better stuff. So when people like are just willingly trying to volunteer that, I'm like, damn, I respect that. Like, so, but what I come to realize when they do that, and they like suggest like, hey, it comes out so and so day, it makes it a really easy to like, because when the song first comes out, you want to be on top of it and like to coincide with the release. But if you just hear it the day it comes out, I have a smaller window of like trying to bond with the record and really draw parallels of perspective of like what the artist was trying to communicate, how me as a listener interprets that and stuff like that. And so like,
I was about to like suggest like that's definitely like a way like you collab with a lot of artists, man. Like I think like if that's something that they could see like benefiting like their project that's coming out, like they should definitely like hit you up like, hey, I'd like to work with you, like, hey, could you write like that blog post about it, like you give me your thoughts when that release happens, so people could actually like maybe get more of an in-depth like look into the songs that's on their project. I think that'd be freaking dope if they like start collabs with you like that.
That would be awesome. I have some that like they do that more frequently. Like it's been a little bit, but like back when I was writing more consistent blogs, it was happening. But yeah, like I would love to like if one artist like says, hey, I have a string of releases for the next X amount of weeks or months or whatever, can we coincide blog post with it, and I will send you the songs this far in advance, and I'll listen to that on my personal time, crazy, and just to have a blog going.
Okay. So, because I wanted to ask you two things, but I wasn't sure if you were cool with it, because I still want to keep your secrecy as much as possible, because I feel like that's one of the most enjoyable parts about your brand. But you are not only an artist yourself, because I've heard your music, and you are insane. You're a really good lyricist, and I'm waiting for you to put out stuff. But not only that, you're doing all this, and you are also a family man. You got kids, you got a lady, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like, we'll go with, I want to go with the later half. How is it? Because I give you so much praise for this. How is it like juggling all this and also having a family? Because I feel like if I was in your position, I just wouldn't do it. I'm not, to be honest, I'm too lazy to. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, you got kids, and I'm like,
Honestly, it's the way my mind works. I've always.
Also, is everybody supportive on your side?
Oh yeah, they're cool. They like, I tell them about like the website. Like, they don't really like, they're not hella into it because they're not like music heads or nothing like that. They're like, oh, that's cool. You have a hobby.
But they're not trying to dissuade you and be like, you should.
No, I actually have no like time. Like I communicate. I'm like, hey, so and so this day, you know, when artists are really communicative and like serious about their time and my time to organize something, I'll can be like, hey, on this day, is there anything going on? Like appointments, you got something going on, you on your own personal thing. Like I'm not trying to like salt your shit, whatever. And it was like as long as it works out schedule wise, there's no problem to like break away, take the time I need to work on this, because like I don't know, just something that like something productive for me.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
no,
you're way better than me, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I find
mean,
that extremely impressive.
Like, I mean, for me, like with my leader, like when somebody hits me up with something on, I just shoot it that day. Don't even ask my girl, like, hey, we doing something that day? No, man, I just like, so I'm gonna be doing this that day.
Oh yeah, no, with family, kids, and stuff like that, like it's crazy. Like it's really tough and stuff. Like you have, unless you maybe don't know a direct mother or someone like that, you learn to respect like what goes into it. It's not easy, and like they're with the kids more. They do more work as far as like family wise, and so like when I'm in my personal time at home, I just like want to be contributor and be like, hey, when I'm here, like they're mommy's boys, so like it's only so much like we want to be with dad. But like I always feel bad. I'm like, I'm not trying to like feel like I'm leaving you with the kids type of thing.
Right.
So
You
like,
feel that way sometimes though? A little bit?
not really, honestly.
Okay.
Like, because the kids are getting older, and so like they're not like super dependent on mom to like be at their every beck and whim, and so like they can kind of like sustain themselves and take care of themselves and be cool
So that
as long as
plays-
someone's home with them.
So that played a big part in it, like that your kids getting older. So like if this was like their first couple years. Like,
Oh
what'd
yeah,
you be
definitely.
doing?
No, I'm always trying to be at home, and like I was always home with the kids, bro. Like not like
Yeah,
the only,
could
but
you
like
do this thing if they were like first couple years?
yeah, I could do the blog. I mean the writtens all day. I could run the website. I could do all the little everything. The
Or, like, running
interviews, I
around
would.
and stuff?
I don't know. Realistically, about the interviews, it would be way sparsely spaced out between actual execution of interviews. But I think like the writing and all that, it can get done. I suck at time management, but I try to be somewhat decent at what I'm able to manage.
Yeah, because there's probably like a lot of people who like don't want to pursue what they want to pursue because they have a family, and I feel like that's understandable. But it's like, especially someone like you, it's like you got a family, but you're still like trying to push for something that you want to create.
Yeah, definitely. I think I said earlier, it's just how my mind works. Like I've always been like an anxious person ever since like childhood, bro. Just super anxious, and so if I don't have a lot of things preoccupying my mind, it's not a good time for me. I don't know how to explain it. I always got to feel like I'm being productive for some reason, or just working on something to improve somehow. Like I don't like I get lazy sometimes, bro. There's some days where like I get tired. I'm like, all right, for this amount of days, I'm not doing shit, bro.
And then you feel guilty, and you get back on that horse.
And then and then
It's kinda
I
like a
get back
cycle.
on it. I'm like, I'm about to post 7 blogs over the next like couple days.
That's that man gene.
I gotta
Let's
still do
go.
a lot of writing, but I was like, whatever, like get back on it. 7 song forecast coming up, you bitch. Like, yeah. So like it comes in waves and shit like that. There's sometimes like it gets a little overwhelming, balance and shit, and all you gotta do is just take a little break. And I've come to appreciate like shit like I don't gotta reply to everybody or just like I don't even gotta look at this. I can share a couple songs. I could behind the scenes work on write some notes down, or just organize like what I'm gonna do. Like, all right, in my mind I want to do this. Let me list it out, and then when I got my energy right, I'm gonna start doing it. And like I like to balance that. Like you said, I do my own music on the side.
That's
And,
what I'm
like,
saying. You do all that, and then
Yeah.
you're still trying to be your own artist.
Yeah,
too.
because then like I don't know. I don't always like to make everything. So like everything I do, like my only outlet for like, because I'm always changing how I feel. I always feel like I have like a dual perspective or conscious going on, like where I don't know how to explain it, bro. Like I just have to be balancing things, or
Yeah.
else I don't feel right.
Oh, yeah. You need a little bit in like every hat just to feel whole. Because if you were doing one thing, it would either become too boring or overwhelming. It's weird because I feel like I'm the same way. It's like if I do one thing, I am either bored by it or overwhelmed by that. and I need to do multiple. It's weird. If I do multiple things, I feel calmer than if I did one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Exactly.
How
I noticed
yeah.
that early on when I first started working. Like, they're like, "Hey, you're on register, bro." I'm like, okay. I'd be the fastest cash register, and I'm like, this fucking sucks ass, bro. All I do is stand here and move my elbows. The fuck?
Mhm.
And so I'll do anything like, hey, I'll take this trash out. I'll do this. I'll post that up. You don't like doing that? I can do that for you, bro. You give me the keys. I can get that for you. And so like I noticed I was like, man, why do I want to do everything and like not get paid more or not get any benefit from it? Like I don't know. Like I think I just get like a satisfaction of like I was able to control like whatever I got going on in my mind by like acting on things that like might benefit me or something. Not benefit me, but like be productive.
You find
Keeps you
you find
occupied.
an equilibrium for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Doing multiple things, because there's certain archetypes of people in like Hinduism culture, but it's like there's people who can only work on one thing for a long time, and they start slow, but they work on one thing for a long time. There's other people kind of like us where it's like, we're like the wind, like we blow this direction, that direction, this direction, really quick, and that's how we function in our lives.
Yeah.
And then like it's because it used to be like, oh, you're just all over the place, and it's like, no, that's just how we need to be to like do our best stuff.
Exactly. Like if I try to like lock in on one thing, I feel like I'm trying too hard. I need everything to do to be
Mhm.
effortless. I need to be, when I'm in the space to do this, it needs to come natural. It needs to not be forced or overdone because it's gonna be trash whatever I do. And so
Mhm.
if I feel like I'm thinking too hard about it within the little time I have to withstand like being in it, I'll do that. But if I don't, I just move on to the next thing and be like, well, I'm fresh and ready to do this
Yep.
in a successful way, and I'll do that until I hit that wall and I'm like run to the next thing. 'Cause I'm not gonna run into a wall and then just be like, oh, I have nothing left in me. I just gotta switch it up and put my energy elsewhere where it's not gonna be wasted, because there's no wasted energy, right? You just put it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And
You feel that
keep it
that
rocking.
tension build up. Time to switch over. You feel that tension build up. Switch over.
Exactly like
and
that.
then you can go back to the other thing refreshed, and you probably hit it better.
Exactly.
Yep.
I come back like maybe I had picked something up along the way, or like I just needed to walk away with it. Come back. Oh, I have a new perspective on this approach.
Yes. Yep. Because usually how I solve problems is I do other things, and then I get stuck on that, and then I do a third thing, and I'm like, oh, the first thing is about this. Go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I was.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So you exactly articulated
Yeah.
that. For sure. For sure.
Same. Because I'm definitely like that. So I forgot my question.
Oh, about balancing family and
Well,
other
no,
things.
no, you
right?
being
Oh,
an
initial.
artist.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, that part.
So, where's that going? Are you just doing it for yourself, or are you gonna? Because what you were telling me, it was like you're trying to release a project, possibly.
Yeah, I'm working on something. I don't like. I have ideas and stuff like that, but I'm like, I'm not gonna like say too much about it because I'm trying to get it right.
I know. I'm like, okay. So,
But I don't know. It's always been something like I said. I've always loved music and I've always wanted to be involved with it. And then, just through some skateboard homies when I was a lot younger, just found my way in a studio. And they're like, "Fool, just write. Come on, fool. No one's gonna hear, fool. Like, just have fun, bro."
Mhm.
And I'm like, fuck it, all right. And so I wrote a little thing. And I rapped it, and then they hyped me up, and they're like, "Man, it's just fun, whatever." And so we just did it for fun. And then
there's the
that
start
just
of the dynasty.
it never went away.
Yeah, 'cause
like
this man has such an appreciation for the craft that
No.
he has to be a part of it
No,
in every
definitely.
single way possible.
Definitely, because
Yeah,
that's
I
what I was
just-
thinking too. Like I swear, like when I just listened to your song as well, and I was like, yo, man, it's about time. Because I swear to God, I was thinking like this dude does a blog, does videos. He's such into the music scene. And I'm like, well, when's he gonna get on a track? I was waiting for it too.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, I've always done it, but like I don't know. Maybe I never took myself serious or like wanted to go out my way to tell people like, "Hey, yo, I record songs" or shit like that. Like if I was with friends and like they're like, "Hey, oh, I heard you do a song," I'm like, "Yeah, you want to hear it or whatever," or like I'll send you
Yeah,
it.
people come to you. It's
Yeah,
just
like
if
I'm not trying to force
yeah.
it down to them, but, like because I didn't feel like I was really at a spot to where like I think enough people would like
Enjoy it.
want to even hear
Mhm.
it. So I was like, I'll just keep making stuff until I feel like I get better at it. And like I would put things out, and like it would, some people would hear it, whatever. I wasn't really too pressed about it. I just was enjoying like being able to express myself and like put it out. And like, hey, I kind of got over whatever the fuck I was in my head about at the time.
Yeah, you're kind of just falling into it like organically, which I mean, I think it's a good way to kind of go by it, because like you said, you don't want to just like, hey, I want to, I write music too. You kind of just drop something like, whoa, it's like this dude crazy.
Which is the same way I do things. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm like put stuff out. People, I'm glad I'm at the point where people talk about my music and I don't have to say anything, because I hate saying like, oh, I got music, you should listen. I hate saying that. I like when other people are like, oh, Stu's great. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, it's odd. Like up until recently, I wasn't really like too comfortable just not telling people, but like trying to push it or trying to encourage people to go listen to it, because like I don't know, maybe who am I, like am I arrogant or something like that? Like I don't know. I wasn't like trying to like be ego. I just wanted to contribute to like shit I appreciate, like I'll hear beats, I'm like, whoa, like I'll hear something and like it's just there, like 15 minutes later I'm like, I got my whatever I had to say out, wow. And like, or else I'll just won't mess with it. Like sometimes I'll like try to write things and like if it's not coming to me like in a stroke of inspiration, I'm just gonna not do it. And so sometimes I'll not do it for a while, and then for years I wasn't doing it for a while, from like 2013 to in 2015 I tried to bullshit and I put out a terrible EP. Ugh. And then I stopped again.
As you have to.
Yeah, and to like 2018, and then that's when I really started like, no, 26, my bad, in 2016 I got myself a mic, and then I was 2016 to like 2017 stopped, and then in 2018, 2019 I was just recording but not doing nothing about it. And then and then I stopped again until 2020. And then that's when I like started just on the low, mad writing, and then 2021 just mad writing, recording shit, and like not finishing none of it, but just like really working on delivery. And I would record myself on video.
Yeah, because you show me a lot of these bass slapper beats too.
Oh, I do everything,
grimy,
bro.
like,
I don't
drill
like.
bass
I
slapper.
still
I'm
don't
like,
know what
what
to
the
describe
hell?
my style as, bro. Because like, I really enjoy the smoky vibes. I really enjoy sometimes slapper vibes. That makes me the most uncomfortable to do, honestly. But if I get good feedback on people, you should do more of that. I'm like, why? That shit makes me feel weird doing it. But whatever. It's
Because I feel like that's the what is that? That's the chocolate candy bar of like the Bay Area, where it's like anybody who like has a good flow and spits on those beats will just instantly be liked. You know what I mean? It's just like
yeah.
That's true.
Jimmy gets all
Jimmy
those,
knows
like,
all about
those
that.
old what is it? Like those old Too Short, like the grimy ass bass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Mob
you
Digga
just talk
type
about killing
beat.
people and fucking bitches, and then it's just like
Over a
everybody's
beat
like,
that sounds
oh
cheesy.
my god, and then everybody sounds the same, but it's still,
Yeah.
even though everybody sounds the same when they get on those beats, it's always hard. It's just always it never fails to be hard.
It's
Right.
like
It never
when it comes to
fails.
those kind of beats, it's like, for me, I listen to the bars a lot more when it's on those types of beats.
Yeah, because it has to
I
be.
agree.
It
Oh
has to
my
be.
god,
Has
because
to
the
be.
bars are just insane.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because the beats like, it's
The
cool,
beats
but
are so
the bars
slimy.
kind of overtain it.
Yeah.
I mean, the beats are so nice though.
I think when
And
it
then
comes to songs like that, that's when artist and producer is the most balanced.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people listen to music for the beats now. But when it
I'm
comes
one
to
of those
those
people.
kinds, when
No.
it comes to those kinds of songs, I'm paying attention to the bars because they're saying some crazy shit. You know
no,
what I mean?
beats have
Yeah.
always carried though.
Yeah,
Beats
yeah,
have
I mean,
always
Sure.
carried.
I can
I've always
appreciate
been more of a
empty
beat
beats,
guy.
though. I just love a good empty beat where like
Yeah.
the people's like, I don't know, like when you hear the instrumental version of the song, you're like, that's not the same fucking song, bro.
Yep.
Like I like beats like that, low key. Like I'm always weird. I always like things that maybe not everyone else likes. But like, I don't know, like slappers are cool too, but I appreciate like those empty ass beats where the voice is the fucking beat and that's the slappy shit.
I don't know. For me, like I always appreciate like a good beat, because like it gives like the song like room to grow too. Because at first you could just be caught up in the beat, then you start getting caught up in the words, and you realize like, oh shit, he's telling you something. Like, oh damn, you appreciate like a song more just when it gives you that kind of layering.
Stunner Man, that Ep.2 did that for me. I was just listening to him recently. Someone was like, listen to Sliding Down Central. It made me think of you. I'm like, what? Okay. And I listened to it. I'm like, yo, he just put knowledge and bars and game on a slappy ass, slumpy ass beat. That's tight. And
Yeah.
so like shit like that. Yeah, that shit's cool too. I like shit
That's why
like
I'm
that.
such a fan of E40.
Exactly.
See, I told you,
Ooh.
A40 would come in at least at some point.
Yeah, fill
Like,
up
have
the
you
cup,
have
John.
you have you ever listened? Have you ever listened to Mob?
Straight up. I have a weird E40 story. It's not that weird, but I was high on Molly at a 2012 E40 show. And, like, I was kind of close to the stage, and he, like, you're spot checking, like, you're looking at one part of the crowd during your set. he points over and like he looks at me, and I'm rolling so hard I dead stop, and I probably look wild to him. So he's just staring at me. He like drops his glasses. He's still spitting his verse, but like I could tell he's looking right at me, and I'm just like a deer in headlights. I'm like, oh shit, you've already seen me. And then he breaks eye contact and walks away. And then it was like the static went away. I was like, oh my God. I was like, what the fuck? I'm out. I'm
That
tripping.
man just possessed you, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Listen, let's just be real. Jimmy would have fainted.
So weird.
God.
Like I don't. It stopped me. I was like, oh shit, and like he just kept looking at me for like a good like 8 seconds. I don't know, but I was.
My physical
rolling.
form would leave this earth.
Like I said, he would have fainted immediately.
Yeah, I dead stopped. I was like,
water.
yeah, I forgot what song
Let
he
the
was. He was
40
doing a new
slur.
one. That shit was funny.
You got me a Southern Belle over here withering.
Yeah, it
Holy water.
It was the
Young
Molly though. I
son.
swear, I was just tripped out. I was like, oh shit. I was like, he's fucking looking in my eyes right now.
Can
No,
you give
but
me
like-
a
Pause. Ooh. Drop the glasses on me.
Ooh,
I ain't even gonna do it.
Jesus.
I ain't even gonna do it.
Sir, can you give me the
That shit was so funny though. I was like, damn, E40
Too
know me
short.
almost now.
Too Short's one of my favorite rappers,
Right.
though. That fool is.
Man,
I love his
I
I saw
backstory.
him perform
You can
at the
rhyme
new
so
Oasis
Yeah.
at Victorian.
Keep
It
the
was,
snake.
he was so bored,
Oh,
man.
yeah,
He looked
Keith.
like he hated being here, bruh. He did the laziest bitch I ever
mean,
heard.
That man has put
What's
so
my
much
favorite word?
work.
He rolled his eyes and bitch. I was like, damn, he didn't even say bitch. What?
No, he went straight up.
He's not happy here, bro.
No,
'Cause I
he
heard-
has one of my favorite songs, or he has one of my favorite verses on an E40 song. E40 and Wiz Khalifa are on the song, but fuck, I forget. It's called Say I believe. And then like he's like, in the verses, 40 and Wiz are like both like, we getting fucked up, blah blah blah. Fucking 40's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You know?
Oh yeah.
yeah. You know that song? And
I
then
do
he's
remember
like,
that line.
and he's like, I got a DUI.
Oh my god.
And he's like,
Oh my God.
he's like,
Choke
and he's
my
like,
dick.
he's like, my lawyer charged me high ass prices.
It was such a dare song.
Took my license.
Took my
In
license.
short,
Jesus.
it's
I
going
haven't
up.
heard that song in a minute.
He's like, beware,
bro.
kids.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs and
Yeah.
driving.
but
What was that, like 2015 or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
think so.
nah, it was like 2013 that song
2013,
came out.
okay,
Yeah,
a
because
little
I remember
before.
I got the notification on YouTube, and I was at the alternative school, and I was using a laptop, and I was watching it. I got in trouble.
so
You're
speaking.
like, come on, it's educational.
So
But
since
he has
we're-
like one of my favorite verses, man.
So since we're speaking of like artists and stuff, like I'm sure like we asked this question to everybody, but who's your favorite like artist?
This fool is about
All
to
time.
like lay down people you have never heard of,
Probably.
and it's gonna be the most
will.
beautiful shit ever if you actually listen.
If
to
you
it.
really want me to be
I
honest
bet.
about like
talk
people
about,
I
hey,
really
talk
love.
about that lady that she wrote that one song right before she was gonna pass away.
Oh, Minnie Riperton.
Yeah.
Damn, she was amazing, bro. I love her music. So
God.
basically, yeah, she died of breast cancer, stuff like that. And like,
Fuck cancer, man.
supposedly, like,
Right.
so she
Fuck
got
cancer.
diagnosed like 4 years before she died or something like that. And the music industry at the time was like, don't tell no one, suppress that. No, you're gonna be a woman in the media. Breast cancer, that's not a good look. They were shaming her, and she was like, no, like, I'm
Sure,
not gonna,
fuck it
I'm
up.
not gonna do that. I'm gonna be honest. And so, whatever. I guess she like did what she did, and she kept making her music and performing and stuff like that. But just an amazing catalog, y'all. I love what she does and all of her songwriting.
What's her name?
Minnie Riperton. Oh, you know Maya Rudolph, the comedian. That's her mother.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
She passed away when Maya was like 7.
I feel like I've heard
And
this
so
story.
in her last album, just self-titled, it's called Minnie. Came out like the year she died or whatever. And she has a song called Memory Lane, and it's like her redemption song. You know Bob Marley redemption song, how he wrote that when he was about to die from cancer or whatever. So like that,
Wow.
she wrote the song and she was just talking about like memories and her life and stuff thinking about, and she would have this line like she was like ad-libbing or riffing like in between the verses when she was like saying "Save me, I don't want to go."
Damn,
and
son,
then
you go way back.
Yeah,
I'm just
bro,
looking this
she-
up on my phone. I'm like, damn.
Yeah,
straight
I was
up,
looking
yeah,
at
she's like "Save me," and like she was
Damn.
like "Maya, I love you," and she's saying she loves her kids, and it was hella sad, and I was like, yo, that's mad wild, and like the way I think about life and stuff like that just like really touched me.
Yo,
And
I
so,
just
like,
I just read this
yeah.
whole summary right now. Everything you're talking about, I'm like, Jesus.
I'm really
Yeah, I was
serious
like-
about the music. I know about like, I just love it, man. Like I've taken like music
Damn.
appreciation courses. I know about like literal classical
I did not
music
know
and
Maya
shit
Rudolph's
that.
like mom was this person. I was
Yeah,
like,
Maya,
wow.
Minnie Riperton, Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder. So like, she was part of his like psychedelic band called Rotary Connection. that like never popped off, but like everyone talked about her vocals because she had that like that high octave, that 8 octave one, that like that whistle.
She got one of the sickest froze I've ever seen, bro.
Like yeah, and so
damn.
like in the comments, people be like, oh, they're like 80 something, 70. They're like, when I was a kid or whatever, I saw Minnie Riperton. She hit her octave note and broke a glass of water on stage, and stuff. She was legit. So Stevie Wonder like had found her, and like, you know, after her debut album came out, I guess he played it so much he had to buy like 10 copies because he kept breaking them because he just wouldn't stop spinning the albums.
Damn.
And so like yeah, her debut album was crazy to her, and then like he actually produced her like Perfect Angel album, I believe.
Yo, you just put me on right now. 'cause I
Yeah,
had
she's
no
lit,
idea
bro,
who
and no
this
one talks
was.
about her enough, bro. She has like an unsung episode, but like you gotta watch like her performances. She had like a midnight special performance of this song called what's it called? Inside My Love, and that shit just blows me away. And I can talk about that all day.
I
You
just
know,
have
about
somebody to
Minnie Riperton.
listen to now, man. Damn.
She's lit, bro,
Yeah.
and I love her music. Her song Completeness, like her debut album Come to My Garden, is the fucking one of the best albums I've ever heard. I actually got to buy it on vinyl because they just re-released it like 2021, like November or October or
Damn.
something like
You
that.
listen to a lot of like oldies and stuff. Do you dive deeper into the newer stuff aside from the local scene?
As far
Like,
as
are you
like,
as experimental with like your sound and your palette for music that you listen to with like newer things as you are with the older stuff? Because I feel like when it comes to older music, your palette is extremely large, right? But I don't know about the newer stuff.
love
Like
that.
who are like
That's
cats that are
fantastic.
still around that are on the come up that's not local? They're like
on the come up?
legitimate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I really, like I said, well, not like I said, but I like a lot of like you might have mentioned about Bay Area music. I really enjoy like La Russell, Stunman 02. Like those dudes are like, they're just different from like, you know, from the Bay, but like they're different stuff out the Bay. And so I really like
Right.
shit like that. Like only reason like why I like a lot of Bay things I grew up really like listening to is because like my family's from like Central California and like San Jose and like mainly Salinas. My family's from Salinas. And so like that's just right there. So that's just like the same culture. And so like I just grew
Yeah.
up on that stuff.
I feel like most cats in Reno grew up on a lot of
Yeah, and like I don't even.
Yeah,
We only
just
ended up here because I had
Northern
one uncle that
California.
moved here, and then like we just ended up here on a fluke. I'm from
Right.
Vegas. I lived
Oh,
in Vegas
shit.
till like I was like 10 years old.
Oh,
Damn,
for real.
dude.
Yeah, so I grew up first like half of my third of my life of in Vegas.
So would you say like your current like modern day palette is just mostly strictly Bay Area, or do you like?
No,
expand
not
beyond
strict.
that?
Well, so I just enjoy a lot of like Mac J, EBK, Young Jock, but outside of that, I listen to like a lot of random alternative like things. Like I'll go on random playlists on like Spotify and Apple Music and like listen to all like these like bands that no one knows about. I listen
Like
to a lot of
indie shit,
things.
yeah.
I love a lot of Georgia Smith. Honestly, a lot of people know her obviously,
Oh,
but
yeah.
like I love Georgia Smith, bro. I like a lot of R&B, honestly. Like as far as current things go, I like a lot of R&B, bro. I don't know why. Like people like Kehlani, stuff like that, LMI, like just that smooth shit. Just is very like comforting to listen to.
Yeah,
I need to
I'm-
listen to
I'm
more
on that
R&B.
smooth shit too, bro.
When it comes to R&B, for me, like the only two people
Rap
I
gets,
listen
like,
to that are
really
still around
heavy.
is like The Weeknd and Chris Brown. It's like the only two.
I
R&B
listen to
artists that
Don
I care
FM.
for.
I've been really shitty about listening to the hype albums lately because like I've never really been.
Me too.
I usually wait till no one gives a shit, and then I'm like I'll come to appreciate it because I get tired of hearing everyone like
Yeah.
say shit that's like
I'm-
not really accurate about the music or.
No,
Yeah,
I'm,
'cause,
I'm,
You see that
I'm
he,
kind of on
uh,
the same boat.
he went on Twitter and he was like, "You guys realize we're in a new trilogy, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Don't you dare!"
Oh shit! Is
I'm
it
like-
the first one?
I'm like, "Don't you dare compare."
No,
It was cool though. I liked all like the, you know, it's a slight tweak variation of the
That
style.
last poem that he had where he was like, "Flowers don't try to be perfect." And I was like, "This shit was so fucking deep."
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh,
because speaking of that, because like I mean, you're probably like one of the other people out here like doesn't like listen to like the stuff that comes out, the new stuff, like as much like until everybody like dies it down. Because I do the same thing. I
Yeah, for
didn't
real.
realize I until like recently. Like I still haven't listened to the new Weekend stuff.
If I
It's not
stumble
that-
on it by chance or like sometimes like I'll follow things and like if it's there I'll like give it a listen and like if it's really just like not my like not my preference, if it's like something that just I'm not enjoying for my personal
Mhm.
consumption, I'm just gonna stay away from it. I try to be mindful about my consumption lately.
No, Married Girl I listen to on repeat. That's been my thing for like 3 weeks now.
Jesus.
Yeah,
On
that's
repeat.
in that.
Off of the Dawn FM.
Every time
Oh,
I
okay.
listen to
Oh,
like
yeah,
one
that
of
song does.
every time I
Married
listen to
Girl.
one of his new
Okay.
albums, I just want to go and listen to Beauty Behind the Madness. Like every time.
Every
Like,
time.
That's because that's my favorite album. Like Trilogy's a masterpiece to me. My Dear Melancholy is just piece of fucking just phenomenal. But like Beauty Behind the Madness for me is it just hits that spot. Like Shameless, incredible song.
My palate cleanse for the weekend, I go back and listen to Coming Down. I'm like, hey, whatever I listen to by the weekend, I'm like, let me go back and listen to Coming Down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy.
Or like
it's
the
just
morning.
perfect, dude.
The morning is so good.
Oh yeah,
the
that
morning's
was the
good.
one.
Yeah.
What Glass Tables? That one's Manny.
Oh yeah, the fucking Life of the Party. That shit's god tier.
Mine's always gonna be in my zone.
Oh, that one's a good one. Oh yeah,
What's
that
that-
one's
what's that
hard.
line
That
he
one's
says?
hard,
He's
bro.
like-
Fuck, that's a good one. That might be like
what's that line?
top
he has?
two.
Yeah,
top
yeah,
three,
it's one of those that you gotta have in your top five.
What's that line he has?
What from the
The
which one?
zone. The zone.
Never heard that shit
what-
before.
what-
Ever.
It's like-
No, I know. Like these two have been like making me want to like go back to listen to a lot of the weekend stuff. I'm
He
like,
says
damn,
like
Yeah,
I've been
man.
with her through you or some shit.
No, but I like
I'm
listen
gonna
to
make
everything
love
low key though.
to her
Just
through you.
not that.
That line.
I'll be picky.
That line
I
touches
feel
my
you, dude.
soul.
I feel 100%.
Touches my soul right there.
Straight up.
It's like, why you rushing me, baby? I'm trying to sip this slow. I'm like,
Good lord.
Jeez.
Mind your business.
And then
bitch.
the fucking dun dun dun, that bass
Yeah.
dun dun dun. It's so eerie.
So eerie and
my
evil.
Hella
dude.
ominous.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I got really mad at that tweet. I wish Twitter had a dislike button so I could just dislike that.
I mean,
stupid
I
tweet.
get it in the terms of like
So shut the fuck up, buddy.
he wants it's like, you know, 80s pop isn't new, but he wants to like create weird stuff again in a part 3,
Yeah,
which
I
is
want
like
more people to do that.
Dawn FM is more weird 80s pop.
it definitely is. Like
Yeah.
that's what I appreciate about it because it's a lot more experimental than
Mental
After
than-
Hours. Because
yeah.
After Hours felt like the money.
Mhm.
This one just felt like the artist. You know.
Shit, I want more artists to like sample like 80s like freestyle music, you know what I mean, like that.
Oh yeah.
That shit's fucking
Like some
mania.
real Fresh Prince shit.
Some like a little bit before that, but yeah, kind of type of
Yeah,
shit. Man,
yeah.
I love that shit. Honestly, that's
Actually,
like my
I've been
earliest
seeing,
memories of music, Loki.
I've been seeing a lot of Beastie Boys type motherfuckers coming out.
I
recently.
know, right?
It's crazy. They
It's
got
kind of
the,
tight though.
they got
I
the
love that.
windbreakers on and everything.
The
Yeah, and
windbreakers
they're doing the
everything.
old style, like in the room with the
Yeah.
Yeah.
microphone
And
hanging
then it's
from
like
the
fish
ceiling.
out.
Yeah, that's vintage right there. But yeah, it's like
He's like, it's time to jump, double up the buck. You know, like the last time I heard like something like that was like on the intro track for Yellow Wolf's fucking Love Story album.
Oh, okay.
Because he did something like that on
Yeah.
his. I don't know if you listen to Yellow Wolf. He's like,
Not too much. Like back when, like you know, like in 2009, 2011 type range, 12, 13.
oh, like when he was like first signed to like
yeah,
Aftermath.
yeah,
and shit.
later, like
Yeah.
right before that, and then a little bit after the fact, and then I don't know. You know, so much music comes out, you kind of just move on to new
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
At some point, when it comes to his career, at some point, like Shady just let him go, and then he just decided to like just
vanish.
invent a new.
I think I heard
genre.
like
Yeah.
one thing after like he went on his own. I was like, oh, that's cool, but then like I just never tapped back in that
Yeah,
much.
Well, 'cause,
yeah,
like,
because
he
I've also
came
dabbed
out-
in Yellow Wolf a little bit as well.
He came out with Radioactive and they had like songs like Daddy's Lambo and shit. You know, he's like, "Can I
Aw.
drive your daddy's Lambo?" And that was my shit when I was a kid. I was like, "This shit is so hard."
Oh,
But like at
shit.
some point, like he just ended up leaving, and Eminem was just like, "All right, yeah, just do what
Yeah.
you want." And then he like blended like fucking like 3 different like country styles together, put
Yeah.
it with rap, and it's like the only version of country rap I can think of that's fucking good.
Yeah, cause I was listening
You know,
like
like Bubba Sparks.
Yeah, because I was listening to him like a lot when he was like with Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I think at some point I don't know, I think I just lost track of him and he just vanished to me, and then I found out like what you said right now, he just started like doing his own shit, like his
Well,
own.
it was like
his own
Love
thing.
Story, and there's like a couple songs on the Trial by Fire tape that he has that are like super polished, but like Love Story is definitely his most polished piece of work. Cause like he visits the Beastie Boys and their style, and then he like visits like old folk music and shit on songs like American You and stuff like that. And then like he has a song with M that just has like the most eerie fucking instrumental, and he has just like the hardest bars. He's like, you wish me hell, I wish you well, and send you straight up to my best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he has this shit. Bow.
yeah,
It's just so hard.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like super eerie as fuck. M has like one of his like better verses on it and shit. But yeah. Why are we talking about Yellow Wolf?
Oh, yeah, but you brought him up, dog.
Yeah, you brought him up.
You said that was
yeah.
your.
You're just trying to talk about Yellow Wolf.
We got
part
to
of
that
your
section where we're
upbringing.
just talking about random bullshit.
No, yeah.
Well,
The
I mean,
reason
this
why I
stemmed
asked
off-
him that question, because like, you know, there's a lot of experimental people coming out recently. Like, people are getting really fucking weird with the music.
Oh yeah, bro. There's so much. It's like really hard to like reference people because there's so many people actually doing it really good now. Before it was like just a few people. Like, yeah, you could just be like, oh, I know this guy has that. that weird shit that's good though.
People are starting to like bring back like old styles and shit, like the Beastie Boys. Fucking, you got people like Ghostman that are just inventing genres.
I love what Father does. And that shit's always great. Father's one of my favorites, bro. I don't listen to mad crazy like these days, but I follow him, and so like I stay up on what he does, and he's tight. Like that Pain Spray song he just put out recently. I'm like, that's fucking hard, bro. I was like, it's just him doing him. I love it.
I do not know a Father.
Oh yeah, he has this thing. Or I don't know if he pushes awful music anymore, but that was like his whole little thing, and he had like a little label going on in Atlanta.
He mostly
like
streams
2015.
now, dude.
Mostly, yeah. He has like a kid now, so he just chills out and like makes music like here and there.
Like
but
my homie fucking plays Apex with him and shit on the stream.
That's tight.
Yeah.
The fuck?
He's a fool, bro.
Yeah,
that dude's
I'm
hella funny
connected
on whatever he's
to
doing
Father.
online, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his music is like
tight.
it's so interesting. Like if you go back to like listen to his early projects, like like Hot Young Ebony or whatever, and like Who's Gonna Get Fucked First and all kinds of shit, bro. Like those projects are dope. And at the time, like he's not messing with these people now, but he had like this little label going on, or like is like more like a collective, and like these other artists like Pyramid Quince, that fool was dope. He had like the laziest, like monotone but like dope flow, and like but he could actually rap from time to like. He would switch it up and be like a quick rapper. Like they had just so many unique roster on that like little collective they had going on. So Father, like if you ever had bored to like listen to some shit back then, Father has an interesting catalog, bro.
So it's just spelled Father?
Father,
Yeah,
just Father.
Father.
You can
Well,
type
it's
in
like
Father, awful records or awful music, and that'll probably exactly take you to whatever.
Like
listen to
fucking
Pain Spray.
Yeah,
Mistake.
Pain Spray's
Yeah.
I love that shit.
That's my shit, dude.
Shit, what was that one song he put out in like 2016?
Oh, I think I know what you're
He
talking
had
about.
the lean with it, rock with it. What he's saying?
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've listened to Father. Since we're talking about it, I was like, oh man, it's been a minute. But yeah.
Heartthrob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heartthrob was such a banger, bro.
Yeah,
I
but
used to play that for my son, and he would
Dude,
get all
I
excited.
I remember like when I first listened to Father, it was Pain Spray, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? And I was like, this dude is hard.
Oh, so you listened recently?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
really.
my
Yeah,
God.
and
Bro, he was such a fucking crazy dude back then.
Yeah, and since I listened to Pain Spray, I've been going backwards. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, so I'm just like, dude. I was like, this dude is
Did you
dope.
listen to Who's Gonna Get Fucked First?
No, I've not yet.
Everybody in the club getting
No,
So
shot.
this fool's
I've
like
not.
John is like getting put on like so much like new
I am,
music right now
definitely.
because like he got
Definitely.
Spotify and he was like listening to All Black and I was like looking at his radio.
All
I'm
Black?
like,
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
like-
got an all black.
I was like looking at
I
looking
don't
at his
listen to
radio.
crazy, but I like what he does. I like what he does.
No,
I was
like,
looking at his radio and it said "Trip" on it by All Black. I'm like, what the fuck does John know about All Black?
No, yeah, I
love
just
Draco
yeah,
too.
so-
I love what he does with Draco
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
Rest
so
in
so
peace.
so really like I just like signed on to Spotify
shit.
because I just went Apple Music, but my buddy Theron, shout out to my boy Theron, but like I've been, but literally like he's been telling me to get on Spotify for like a minute. I'm like, all right, and I finally did it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, this should change my life, and that's when like he saw
I'm
my
looking
catalog.
fast. I
was
still
like,
do free Spotify.
I showed him Suicide
No,
Boys.
I
yeah,
got it.
Suicide Boys
I
too,
got the
and
premium.
Jesus.
And,
I
I
might got to
don't
transition.
look
I
up
do Apple
anything.
Music, but I'm like, it's just easy because it's like,
No, yeah, because like
easy.
once Spotify gets like a sense of like the music you're into, it just gives you like recommendations like once it goes past like
Yeah.
your playlist, and it just
Yeah.
keeps putting me on just like people I've never even heard of.
Well,
oh yeah, that's what I do
Yeah.
recently, and sometimes I don't catch the names, but like I listen to them like that was crazy, and like
yeah,
I'm
and
like,
then I try to
shit.
backtrack.
Like, I'll
yeah.
usually put on radio, so I can't go back and see.
Yeah, what
I'm
was it,
like,
Jimmy?
damn.
I can't say it right. It's like Jeezy.
Oh,
Jeezy.
Yeah,
Jeezy?
Jeezy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like,
Oh,
I
Jeezy?
found
Yeah.
this dude, Jeezy, man. He's tight, and I'm like, you just found out about Jeezy?
Yeah, I did,
And
yeah.
I was like, and I, so I
Again-
showed him Wings by Shoreline,
Yeah.
and he was like, oh, this sounds like the Jeezy guy. I'm like, yeah, that's
That's
him.
it. I think he was in a
it's 'cause,
group.
like it's because like I usually have a tendency to just like to listen
Yeah.
like what I know, and I just keep going backwards. Like I listen to a lot of old school
Yeah.
stuff, like NWA and stuff,
Yeah.
Bone Thugs, whatever. But like I it's not
love
that
Bone
often that I
Thugs.
tend to like
Try to look for.
look for like
Yeah.
different people I just
Same.
don't know.
Yeah, man.
No, yeah,
like,
I put him on to
I
like
pay
Hello
attention.
Cats. I put him on to like Ghetto Boy.
Yeah, Ghetto Boy, and then
Oh,
also
okay.
what is it, Mexican OT?
Oh yeah, and then Bo Bundy, who's another
Yeah.
one.
You showed me that guy, Bo Bundy.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of Mexican rap.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
showed me
and
those
and
videos of the
yeah,
type.
yeah, because I was literally telling him too. I was like, yo, like you put me on some of these Mexican rappers, bro. I'm like, I want more. Like I was like, I like the combination of like they put like the Mexican like music or like the Hispanic music involved with, like a lot of like current like stuff, and I'm like, that's fucking genius. Like that's
Yeah,
fucking
huh.
dope.
Yeah.
Because I feel I always like thought like. Hispanic music isn't like my thing fully. Like I like it, but I feel like it's always the trumpets and horns, and I kind of just get annoyed.
I'm
But,
glad
like,
we're getting like at
Like
a
the
point.
corridos.
I'm glad
Yeah.
we're getting at a point where like when you think Mexican music, it's not always going to be just mariachi shit.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I know
That's
people
what
like
I'm saying.
mariachi music. I'm like, fuck you, bro.
Exactly,
I love
but-
mariachi music. Okay.
No, me too. That was like my uncle. Rest in
Cowbells all
peace. His
day.
favorite stuff, man. I love
It's like
it. Makes
it's,
me think of my
it's
uncle.
here and there depending on the music, but I feel like when I listen to it too much, I kind of get annoyed at the trumpets and the horns. But like
Yeah.
again, like being able to like kind of hybrid it in some way is like it's just I thought it was like the most
That's fire,
genius
yeah.
idea.
That's
so
what I
kinda
like about Bo, because like he abandoned the mariachi shit. He's like, I'm just gonna make trap music and I'm gonna make just trap American music, but I'm gonna just rap all my shit in Spanish, and it's so fucking hard. And
Oh.
I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. And I'm like, this is some gangster
I
shit though.
picked up like 4 words, but that was just hard.
Yeah.
The
Like
cadence though.
He said Cayete way.
some shit,
Okay,
something like that. I don't even know.
With
Yeah,
the
because
way,
like, literally when he showed the Mexican OT song, like he added the he had the R rolling
He
R's in the
rolls
song. I was
R,
like,
yeah,
gangster.
yeah.
I was like, dude, Jesus, I was losing my
Like,
shit.
I'm a grupos.
Yeah, I was losing my shit in the car when he was showing me the song. I was like, yo, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this?
Yeah, because I full showed up on my fans also like on my thing, so I was like, I'll check them out, Mexican OT.
Full fans also like that's funny.
Yeah, I finally have that on my page
Yeah.
now.
That's
you know,
hard,
so I'm
okay,
like,
look
all right,
at you.
cool. You know.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to Mexican OT,
He's hard.
He's
Yeah.
hard. Pretty
Grupos
goddamn hard.
360, they're hard as fuck too.
goddamn
They
hard.
stick to that mariachi shit, but they flow on that.
Yeah,
fucking
they were
thing
dope. I
so
remember
hard.
you showed me them.
Yeah, like this motherfucker,
tight.
he's just like going in bar for bar. He don't give a fuck. He's like, fuck the beat. I'm here, bitch.
He's like, I'm just here to just lay down these words, dude.
Just
Yeah.
like, whoa,
Oh my
that's spicy
gosh, man.
shit.
Yeah, bro. It's that,
I can't even.
it's
Yeah,
that fuego.
it is. It's I don't know. It's just mind blowing. Like now, like listening to Spotify. Like I literally cancel my Apple subscription after that. I'm like, I don't need this.
I might be converted after this.
I was
Spotify's
100%
like-
converted. Like
Yeah.
the second I started getting these bangers after banger after banger, I
Yeah,
was
I'll be
like,
Spotify jacking and doing
I don't
that.
need this.
Yeah.
I'm still living off other people's Spotify accounts.
Spotify just has like a better algorithm.
yeah,
That's yeah. I'm kind of getting pissed off Apple Music. I'm like, yo, stop putting this in my favorite
Yeah, see,
playlist.
I was
bro.
getting,
I
I was
don't
getting,
like this
yeah,
shit.
I was getting upset with like Apple Music too, just for that because their recommendations is nowhere near. It's
Yeah.
like you know you got it's like you got those two girls, but that one girl just knows you, bro, and it's like fuck, thank you, Spotify.
Spotify.
Thank
She
you.
just
You
knows how to
know me.
suck you right.
Yeah, yeah.
The other
Suck
one
me
get the
till I'm
job done,
soft.
but she'll
What is
do-
happening?
you know.
What's going on?
Edible stick.
Oh
in.
my gosh,
My
man.
fault.
Stu spaced out, came back. He's like,
No, I'm just an old man. I just look at like old city pop and funk playlists that old people make.
You know what I like to
And
do?
then
I
I
like to go
find
to like
really
other
cool stuff.
countries and do their top 25, like Beijing.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, they got
Beijing
they got
has
a different-
crazy
that's a
shit in their
good
top
idea.
25. I don't know what it's saying, but
That's a good
it's
idea.
vibes, bro. I'm like, damn, Beijing, Taipei, like
That's actually-
they have
that's
like
actually-
100 cities, and like you could just go all over the world and like
Yeah, I was about to say that's a good
yo,
a good note
like
to
in like
actually do.
Germany, Austria, Hungary. It's like a lot of the same shit we listen to, and only like 2 or 3 songs in their language, stuff like that. It's kind of crazy. I like to go.
Yeah.
Like Australia is basically just like us. It's kind of weird, just more poppy.
You know, I like going to different countries and listening to their drill rappers.
Oh yeah, UK.
They are-
Yeah, they're crazy.
UK is cool, but like, bro, Denmark drill.
Denmark, Joe. I need to
Denmark
hear that.
is one of the safest countries in the world. But these motherfuckers is like this minority of people just in the gutter, and they just go so hard. It's like, yeah,
I mean-
fuck the police, we out here, bitch, we got choppers and all this shit. It's like not nearly as dangerous, but they're comparing themselves to Compton.
That's
And I'm like,
hella
and I'm like,
funny.
bro, this shit is so gangster
I mean-
because they get this
I mean, shit.
crazy
For I mean, we don't know what goes down in their streets. I mean, maybe calm as fuck.
yeah, I would feel
I
feel
found
safe
out
over
about
there.
it. I found out about it
Listen to
through
that,
the through the fucking Viceland, right? It's like to Denmark's drill scene, right? And I was
Oh,
watching
the
it,
Vi- oh my
and then
God.
the dudes they have masks on and shit. And the police they come by,
They
they're
always
like,
do.
they're like, hey. Are you guys good? Like, is anything about to go down? You guys doing a video? They're like, who's doing a video, man? And then they drive away. He's like, yeah, fuck the police. And I'm like, that seemed like a very. I was like, that seemed like a very reasonable interaction.
Yeah, no,
doing
it's like
nothing.
yeah, they're like yeah, it's okay, sir. We're just doing a job
Tucked
right
your
here.
chain
Thank
from
you.
Debo.
Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck your bitch.
Dude, the cops are so reasonable. They're like, oh, you're just doing a okay, good. Have a wonderful day. Stay
you
safe.
too, sir. Thank you.
Drive away. They're like, yeah, fuck the police. They
Yeah.
always fucking with us, asking us
their
questions.
chains
I'm
back
like, that
on.
was the
Like,
most. That was the most reasonable fucking shit ever, dude.
And then they just turn on the cops immediately. They're like,
If
"Yo,
we
fuck 'em."
walk downtown with
Most
masks
reasonable
and
shit.
guns and shit, the police came up on, we're going to jail.
Well, yeah, they ain't gonna ask like, "Hey, are you guys doing okay?" Now they'd be like, "Yo, put your hands up."
Yeah.
It's a school
Guns out.
project.
But the music that they make is so fucking hard, and I'm just like, this is tight as fuck. Or like a German drill, That shit is angry as shit.
Yo, I believe that shit's scary. I believe him.
That shit is scary as hell. Yeah, same with Russian drill.
Yo, even like normally talking, that shit sounds intimidating. You're like, damn, you mad, bro?
German rap music videos are insane, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
crazy.
actually, yeah.
that one that Trod showed
someone
us.
showed me one before, and this dude was aggressive.
Or
Josh,
fucking,
Josh was showing me them for like an hour, and I was like, "This
Yeah.
is so crazy."
Yeah.
Or like
What the fuck?
there's this one for Morgenstein. He's from Russia.
That's the guy you showed me, huh? Your crib. Oh,
he's
yeah.
hella hard. Yeah, he's
That
from
guy
Russia.
was tight.
And I was like, he's the scariest motherfucker ever. Like, Russians are so about the business.
Yeah, I believe that guy too. He's mafia for sure.
For sure, dude.
So
Yeah.
so going on to like the next question I have, like, I don't know if this is gonna not a controversial thing, but like who out of
you
all
hate?
no, well, maybe that after, but out of all the blogs that you've written,
Jimmy.
which one is your favorite?
I don't think I have a favorite blog.
You see when he said that, he leaned over to me.
I'm trying to think. Like I never like in
Oh,
my
he was
mind
looking right at
like
Jimmy.
writing something, and
He
I'm
wasn't looking at
like,
Jimmy.
okay, I'm the most proud of the fucking Money Talks blog, honestly, looky, cause like I really listened to that shit for like a month straight before I even thought about writing about it.
Yeah, because didn't Jimmy give you the songs ahead of time too?
Nah, he didn't let me see shit. He had me like 4 little things.
Oh, what a bastard!
Yeah, straight up. But he pays like he weighs, I guess,
That's right.
and not quite what he weighs, but
And he weighs.
I weigh a lot, baby. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we out here.
He pays like he weighs, well, maybe not how he weighs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Somewhat
titties
close
out.
though. He's
That
like
Money-
70%
That Money
there.
Talks blog was like way more in depth than I ever thought it was gonna be. I
Honestly,
thought it was gonna be like,
you definitely articulated that way more than any way. you
yeah, he
could've.
was like saying shit about songs where I was like, I didn't even have the intention of that being the meaning, but he perceived it as that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
he
all right,
picked
yeah,
it
that's what-
apart.
That's what
Picked
that
it
song means
apart.
now.
Yeah.
I like the, one thing I remember just like when I was learning about writing like literary devices and shit like that, and so like I had this one dope ass teacher for like a section. He was like, we're gonna use this and apply it to song lyrics, and so he like Red Hot Chili Pepper album lyrics and like or certain songs I mean, and like we would apply like those literary terms and things that break down and analyze writing but into songs, and that came to me so easy, that little section. So like I always remembered that type of thinking, so when I listen to music I kind of think of it as like is there like allegory, any underlying stories, or like what if I maybe know
Right.
something about the artist, I can like draw parallels about like I know this actually happened in their life, and in the music it sounds like they might be referencing this, and like
Right.
try to like think about perspective and feeling of like you in your shoes as you're writing it, but like as me as someone maybe who can relate to this somehow or find a way to relate to it.
Have you ever had any like interaction where somebody says like, "Yo, that ain't right"? Like, you don't know what
Nah.
you're saying.
Most people just like, I appreciate it, that was dope. I like most of the time, like instead of saying like that's not right at all or you're wrong, because I don't ever really like, it's not my goal to be like this is what your song means, because I'm who the fuck am I to tell you what your song means. This is how this is what your song made me think about. This is a perspective that I gained from listening to your song. Like that's like the listening to it changed the way, because like everything consumption, like once you consume something, your body doesn't forget that shit. Everything you take in, like they say, like when you die you get every sensation you ever felt in your life in a flash, and so like everything you consume too, like that stays with you. So like I always try to think, what am I learning from this when I consume something, and so like I give the music that type of respect when I listen to it.
Right.
Yeah, man. I forgot the second part of that question though.
No, that was. I mean, that.
What was your
basically
favorite
the
blog that you wrote?
Oh, I don't think I got a favorite, but okay,
You
I
said
was
the
most
Money
impressed with yours
Talks.
because
You
it was the
said the-
motherfucking longest. Yeah, that was tight though. I was like, yeah, I really did that, and I told you I would. So I
Yeah,
said,
you said the money talks.
You've never you've never had an issue of kind of like articulating.
oh yeah, that's
any-
right. Yeah, like so people they're just like, oh, that's dope. Like you know,
Yeah.
I don't really try to say this is what it means, and so people just appreciate that I like take the time to listen.
And you actually kind of went in depth in it and kind of
Mhm.
broke it down. Like Jimmy said, like there's you articulate in a different way that they even saw their own song.
Yeah, exactly. And then they'd just be like, oh, I really had no thought. I just really just made it to make it. I'm like, well, made it sound like you knew what you was doing, bro. So
Kudos.
you know, break it down like that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, half the songs that you like gave meaning to, and I was like,
Or like naturally I'm a connect the dots type ass person. Like I'm like always been naturally curious. I think that's like my biggest trait, curiosity. I'm always like taking mental notes of everything I perceive, and then so like when things click, I like kind of rely on everything. I like kind of just nope in my mind.
Right.
And so like I'll do that. Like
I've always been impressed with your I've always been impressed with your writing because it's just like just the way you word things. It's like you, like we were saying earlier, you definitely do have a gift for this kind of thing.
You got the gift of gab.
You can articulate.
Oh
very
my
well.
God, for sure, yeah.
Thank you, Mac Dre. I'm just kidding.
You're welcome.
No, low key, honestly.
Compare me to Mac Dre, dude. Don't do him like that. Don't do
don't-
Mac like that.
I was like, say, yeah, don't do him like that.
No,
do Mac Dre
how to
like
be
that.
smooth.
So there's a secret bracket going on. I'm just playing. I'm not gonna break that up.
Oh yeah. Well, he talked
That-
about it on his
That you
not a bracket. I don't know.
that you made.
There's a documentary.
That
is
you
what
made.
you mean,
Yeah,
bro.
Jerry did bring that up. I'm not sure if you wanted to bring it up either, but I know Jerry
man.
brought it up.
I don't know too
And he
much
was just
more
in
outside
here
of that.
Listen, you
He-
can either
go
talk
out.
about this or we could talk about your real identity.
Hell no.
We're not
bro.
talking about his real identity.
I gave
Yeah,
you.
we're just gonna-
If you
yeah,
don't,
like I
if
said,
you-
I'm gonna
at
blur
this
his
point
face.
of this episode, you
Nobody's
don't
gonna
know.
see it
You
out
don't
loud.
need to know.
Yeah, no.
Straight
sure.
up,
I'll
I gave you
wax.
gems, bro. I said real like
Yeah, you just got to appreciate
real
the
distinct
verbiage.
stuff about me that I willingly
So you don't.
just,
yeah.
volunteer to people.
And I like that being part of his brand. He's just like, if you don't know,
It's not
I'm
about
gonna
me
sell you.
necessarily,
I ain't
but
gonna
like
tell you.
yeah, I
Yeah.
want it to be about y'all.
Yeah, I know like Jimmy was bringing it up earlier, but
He's
this
just
man,
like the guy in the bush with the binoculars. All right?
Yeah,
He's
but-
just like,
Yeah, but this man was literally like on a headhunt for your identity. So I mean, like,
Oh man. Oh yeah, I saw him everywhere, bro. It was funny as hell. I'm like, yo, this dude gotta live right by me, and then I saw you like walk in because like
Yeah.
I live right by you.
he literally lost it when you pointed out where he worked, and he's like, how the fuck does he know where I
Oh,
work?
straight up.
I was
yeah.
like,
The sandwich sucked
who you
too,
been talking
guys.
to?
He's like, are you following me?
For real.
Yo, yeah. One time he messaged me on the Weather Watcher page. He's like, "Yo, was that you?" I was like, "Way somewhere else." I was like, "What?"
You're
And
just
he's
like-
like, "At
you're
my
just like
job,
turning
my
around.
drive-through."
I remember that shit because I gave some dude his fucking meal and he wouldn't stop fucking staring at me. I'm like, all right, either you want to fuck me or like you're the weather watcher.
He
It
was
was-
trying to fuck
it
the
was-
show.
You
what's
he-
the difference?
Yeah, you know what? He probably wanted to fuck you.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, because I hit him up and I was like, yo, was that you? And he was like, nah. I was like, that dude wanted to fuck me.
Yeah, I was like, "Nah, bro." I'm
Yeah,
at
yeah,
work,
he wanted.
guys.
Yeah, he wanted your foot long sandwich,
He
like
wanted
all over
that.
his
What the
mouth.
fuck?
I was. I
like,
wish
"Give
I
me
got
the
his
Slim
number
Jim."
right there. I'd be like, hey, bro, come back real quick. I think you left some avocado here. Some shit. Get it back.
Straight up.
Goddamn.
Mayo
Well-
mustard mix.
Well, obviously, like we're coming up on time because it is getting. Well, it's not that late, but I mean, thank you for coming on to our
Sliding.
podcast.
Watching.
Yeah,
Weather.
yeah. Always
Thank
paying
you for
attention.
being great.
Yeah, thank you for doing. Yeah, actually, you know what? Thank you for this is a appreciation.
Shit,
saying
thank
here,
y'all
like,
for
just thank you
being
for doing what you
great
do.
enough to make me want to do this stuff. I really appreciate y'all and everything. Like, not just you guys, but like
I have one.
everyone
Yeah,
who
yeah.
contributes to the music. Because if I'm listening to it, it matters to me.
I have one more question.
Go for it.
Is it difficult for you to keep your identity out of it? Like, is it difficult for you to not be like,
No, he's a humble
let's
dude.
collect this
He's a
clout?
humble
Yeah, this
dude.
dude's just a
Nah,
family man trying
I-
to get by.
It's not really because like naturally I'm introverted. It took it took years of me like on my own personal like accounts like of like me being vocal. Like if you well, whoever knows, if you scroll down my page and like you'll see early on like years ago of me just talking about like perspectives I was sharing. That was really me just trying to get comfortable with speaking and doing things because I wanted to do more in like this creative way, but I was like, I'm just not really comfortable fucking being the sole attention. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, I just like that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just like here to like to contribute to something because like I'd be inspired, and so
Right.
when it comes to this, like I have no urge to be like I'm the host of the Weather Watcher, and so now my face is that like, nah, man, maybe the face is the voice, but that's about it.
Right. It's
Yeah.
just a lot easier for you to digest.
Yeah, because I don't really think anything much of myself, honestly. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I know, like honestly, bro, like not like where I'm so and so and I have a reputation. I don't know. I don't think nothing
You'd
like
rather
that.
just keep it low key.
Yeah, like it's
this
just
is the
something
thing
I do because I feel like it's like healthy for me to like to do some, put energy into shit I love.
Right. I think that's why it's difficult for people who don't know you. It's difficult for them to grasp that it's not like another artist or anything, because it seems like you do this just for your own personal well-being. You do this for you at the end of the day. There's no like agenda that's hidden from the viewers or anything like that. But everybody in this game, a lot of people, their egos are so fucking big to where it's like nobody does anything without an agenda at that point. So just to have somebody be like, yeah, just review music, and I want to show love, and I just want to strengthen this community for no gain other than just like,
For real, I don't even
just
look
for myself.
in the app like where I run my website, or even on the where I do it on the computer. There's an analytics tab. I don't look at it. I've looked at it in the last year 3 times, and like the first 2 were like 2 to 3 months after the fact. Didn't look at it till like a couple of weeks ago, and like 3,000 people hit the site in like a 7-month period.
Jesus.
It was like 2,900.
Damn, man.
And I was like, man,
There you go.
I really didn't. And there's people from Mexico, there's Cabo, there's Canada, various places in the United States, a lot of Sacramento people.
Nice.
There was one in like, I don't know if it was Russia or like some kind of East
Oh, we got
European
the
country.
Russians?
And I'm like, who is that? And I traced everyone back. Like, you can see everything. I looked at it and I saw where all the traffic comes from. Shout out to Instagram. Y'all really hold it down. Y'all like make 98% of the thing at the time. I don't know about now, but yeah. So I was about taking it serious now. Like, definitely gonna, as far as the interview goes, as far as like people who are serious about advancing their stuff and they have a whole thing, like maybe like, charging for the time and stuff like that, and just like respecting the platform a little more, because I just, like I said, didn't think much of it until I saw something. I'm like, oh, well, maybe it's something to take serious or try to be more serious about.
It's just strange to see, because you're kind of an anomaly. You know what I mean? It's strange to see somebody not put their ego first, to put others first, to
That shit
put
makes me
other people's
uncomfortable,
music.
bro.
And I'm just like, it's difficult to think about. Something that we all have to get used to, that the weather watchers aren't a bunch of people with huge egos that want to fuel themselves only. This is just something that they do for the community, and strictly the community.
And for fun, too.
For
man.
no
Can't
other
be-
Yeah, it brings me a lot of fulfillment just to do something like when I put something out, just like, damn.
Is
It's
there
just
any-
like a release. It's just like, I got to do something therapeutic that's related to music.
Is
And
there
that's all I
any,
care about.
Is there any plans that you have to monetize this and make it a full-time thing, or is it just
Not,
like
I
you
don't,
want to
I
keep
don't know
it as a
about
hobby?
monetizing a full-time thing, but like respecting my time and respecting artists' time, and like probably just kind of, I think just like put a price on the time, but it's not like I'm not here hustling promotions. I'm not out here hustling like, hey, let me
Right.
write about your album, give me so and so. I'm not doing that. I'm not touching.
So you'd
I-
rather keep
yeah.
it as like a hobby,
Yeah, learn.
a hobby that you take
to
seriously.
when it comes to the visual stuff, I think that's what I'll probably try to monetize. But as
Right.
far as like blog posts, the website, keeping it running and stuff
Not
like
a
that.
rush.
Huh?
It's not a rush to get in there. Like
No,
that.
it's not in a rush, but like, I wanted to grow, and like I wanted to be like the place where people in our community someone just stumbles on it and that's like their way out, that's their way to the next level. I wanted to
Right.
be that little transitional stage, like, here you go up to the next level of music. I want to have you with a catalog. You have professional, semi-professional-ish looking interviews, write-ups. You have full things, point of reference that people can take and say, he has a following. People do so and so for this. Make it like a portfolio of your
Right.
track record of work. I've always like wanted to just like be able to be like, someone I know made it out and did some shit because
Right.
they have people believing in them, and so I want to put that spotlight so people can just lock in and find a new person to believe in.
Do you have this fear that if you were to try to monetize the platform as much as you can, that you'll end up like losing the love for writing that you have right now?
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to do that. Like,
Is
the only
that the
reason
leading
why I want to
reason?
say is like, I just want the scheduling, just here's a deposit. Please show up. Don't waste my time. Just, we're going to get the interview done. I'm not charging you necessarily for the interview. I'm not trying to be greedy.
Right.
Just like respect my time. Like, that's all.
Yeah.
And
And
'cause I
that's
want
it.
it to be as efficient and streamlined as possible, because I'm not going to give too much plans, but like I've had people reach out like that are like on a higher level in the scene, and they want to find a way to try to help and work and like maybe bring on, occasionally bigger acts like to draw to our local scene and somehow incorporate them. And so I really want to get to a point where the people who will be coming in contact with these artists around our scene who are professional and business oriented can have that medium of like, hey, we can link you to these things.
Right.
But like that's about like his business. Like, you know, I'm not trying to like fucking make this my job or something.
Right. Yeah, because this feels like a major passion project.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of people are drawn to it, because your heart is definitely in it, your soul is in it. But as soon as you start to bring money into the equation, you start to
like if like
pull
maybe
back
the
a little.
YouTube content like starts like, you know, you get a little bit of revenue if the views
Yeah.
get up. That's okay, whatever. That's
Yeah, I can see like
that's a
the
bonus.
visual things.
That's what I'm
becoming-
saying. Like
yeah.
that's the only thing I really like. If it did, that'd be the only thing worth trying to monetize the
Yeah.
visual aspect. Everything else,
Yeah.
that's like. That's
But when
just
it
all
comes to the
love.
writing, because it seems like the writing is something that you are extremely passionate about, something that you love and that you cherish, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like something that you want to monetize, because at that
No.
point, it's going to put this serious tone to it, to where it's like, now you kind of have to do it. even
Yeah,
at
I'll
the
never
times you don't want
monetize
to.
the. I don't think I'll ever monetize the writing.
And like you said earlier, it's like when it comes
So
to
they
things
start
that you
throwing
force
those
yourself
stacks
to
at
do
you.
shit, it's just
Oh,
it
it's
comes
different.
out.
It's different
I know,
when they start
maybe,
throwing the stack.
okay, I don't know, nah, but like I'm not gonna be hustling like blog posts like or nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, on
pushing.
a small level, like, you know, if they throw you 10 grand, it's like,
Yeah,
you
sure.
you might do it.
But like, you know, I want to expand the range, because like there's only a certain amount of people who are really consistent and serious, and it almost becomes like repetitive. I'm like, I feel like it's the same 34 people,
Right.
you know, and I know there's a list of like 80 I can like really recite, but that 50, 60 of them are not active anymore or sparingly. And so it's like that's core 30. And so like at some point I got to expand the range, because you can only do so much in the same circle. So I want to be more
Right.
regional and expand the region. That's why you see people like Elko and kind of semi Tahoe, whatever. Because like it's never been the intention to be like, this is the Reno platform, this is the region's platform.
Right.
So yeah,
Are
so
you going to expand outside of the state to like the Bay Area?
I don't know. I think they're okay. If anything, I think like, you know,
They're fine.
like
Alright.
maybe that central area that no one really gives a shit about, not southern, but not northern Cal,
Right.
just like that central, because that's where my
Like
family's
Berkeley.
from. It makes sense to me. It's organic. I have like, you know, roots out there and
Right.
you know, connections out there.
Yeah.
And so
Start writing up rappers from Bakersfield.
from Bakersfield, oh yeah, man, if they're dope, you never know. Nah,
I
but
keep on
right
hearing
now
that
I'm focused
Bakersfield-
on us and like just trying to uplift all
People
people.
keep on saying shit like Bakersfield is like the piece of Reno that accidentally escaped Nevada.
I mean, it's dirty, real dirty.
We used to drive by when we were like driving from Vegas to my family.
No offense to you, Bakersfield folk out there,
Nah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
good.
thanks.
but
Y'all
so-
got some good
offense.
rest stops there. I don't know.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
bullshit there.
I'd be seeing like weird shit on YouTube, and I like look, it's like Bakersfield, California. I'm like,
Jesus
that
Christ.
makes
They be
sense.
having concerts out there. I'm like, damn, they got an amphitheater or something out there.
Nah,
It's
dude,
a
it's
big
like
open-
it's like
big
it's like
open
the, it's like
space.
the school gym.
Oh hell no, auditorium ass.
All right, so before we wrap up, dude, I just got two questions for you. Basically,
Two-piece
what's
question.
what's the best advice you can give somebody that wants to get in your position, and two, if you want to share anything that you got going on.
Trying to be in the position or do something similar.
Yeah.
I would say if you have any idea of any resource in that realm of what you're trying to do, don't be scared to reach out and don't be weird about it. Just be honest. Say, hey, I'm trying to do this, and I respect your opinion because it can help me get to where I need to go, and just respect people's time when approaching them, and be accepting of criticism and feedback while not letting that determine your final decision making. You know, consider everything, learn from everything, and you know, after you digest it, make that best decision for you, but just don't stop like taking the chance to like, okay, if I did this, what would happen? 'Cause that's all I started doing. I'm like, all right, it's time to buy this. It's time to put money into this. What does this mean now? Put some money into this, and then started
Right.
making it happen. I'm like, and you just find your way to where you need to be, and just don't be afraid to reach out to anybody for any perspective, and don't be afraid to give it out once you learn it.
Right. No gatekeeping.
Yup. Oh yeah, no gatekeeping. This is a podcast that
Never
ends
on wax.
gatekeeping.
On
Huh?
wax.
Wax.
Yeah, you
Wax.
feel me? There you
first
go.
time.
Went the whole time without one of those.
I know, yeah, we just ended this conversation, bro. And then and then there's anything you want to share that you're up to that you want to Do you want to
coming
promote
up
anything?
or anything? You want to promote? Shout out.
There's some things I want to do with Weather Watcher, so you got to stay tuned. And I'm trying to bring more variation to the visual content and more written blogs, because that's the funnest part. That's the most fun part. So yeah, just pay attention, and I'm trying to expand more artists on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Yeah. So
More
everybody.
genres too.
Dope.
New
So
genres.
everybody be on the lookout for our boy, the Weather Watcher. Go look at his blog. Go to his Instagram. Say what's up to this dude.
At the Weather Watcher.
At the Weather Watcher. You got Twitter?
TheWeatherWatcher.com. Yeah, Twitter at WW Music
official.
Forecast.
The .com.
Yeah, and if you want to talk business, or a line for your release or whatever you got going on with your music, email at weatherwatcherpoint@gmail.com. Don't DM me.
No more DMs.
Don't DM this man.
Yeah, stop playing with that, man.
All right, well, dude. Again, I just want to say on behalf of us three, man, thank you for coming on.
Bro, thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate the game that you just laid on everybody too.
Yep.
We messed up the first time, but we came back for the second time.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah, huh,
No, yeah, we did not speak on that.
The
But,
episode that never
We have
happened.
John here.
but I got it right this time. All right, we good.
That's right.
All right, y'all. Well, this is your main three from the Blueprint. The Sultans of Snap. Blueprint out.
Blueprint out.
Wasting my time, calling me up, you banging my line. I'm losing my mind, I let them move when you ask what I'm doing, and I'ma keep saying I'm making things right. See me, I'm grinding, you see me, I'm growing, but all of this shit is tainting my life. We need to move on, like we need to grow up, like it's about time. All of the days I spent focused on when this will end. All of my money it came and went, spending it all on you is the shit. Feel like I'm running a mile a minute, feel like I'm trying, but I'm never winning. Making a change, I'm hoping you see it. I'm hoping you see it. I want it bad, I'm missing it. I know that I'm wrong for leaving this. This is a song, not a diss. Righting my wrongs through all of this. I can't define how I feel. Love you so bad, but love kills. You only leave sour out thrills. You only leave sour out thrills. I want it bad, I'm missing it. I know that I'm wrong for leaving this. This is a song, not a diss. Righting my wrongs through all of this. I can't define how I feel. Love you so bad, but love kills. You only leave sour out thrills. You only leave sour out thrills. Out thrills.